Chapter 104. Retreating Ao Shell again. Shouldn't this little Jindan immediately kneel down and beg for forgiveness? What does he have to say to the Dragon Crown Prince? In the distance, Sima Changkong raised his eyebrows. Oh no, these conflicts are going to intensify. Countless watching cultivators in the four directions held their breath and stared at Gu Hai with glazed eyes. Are you brain dead? Earlier, you fooled Ao Shun by pretending to be a god. Now, who can you fool? You still have such a strong tone of voice. It was the group of dragons whose faces changed. Roar, roar, roar. The group of dragons roared lowly and looked at Gu Hai angrily. Gu Hai had not only captured Ao Shun, he was even satirizing Prince Ao Sheng. Was this provoking the dignity of the entire dragon race? Ao Shun was suddenly stagnant. His head was a bit spinning. Just now it seemed that Gu Hai was already ready to release himself. Why did he give a harsh word? Why did he say such harsh words? Why didn't you free yourself first, then take revenge? Now, Gu Hai actually flipped. Waving their hands, Gu Chen and Mao Chen escorted Ao Shun in front of Gu Hai. Controlling Ao Shun, Gu Hai coldly looked at Prince Ao Sheng. Prince Ao Sheng's eyes were also narrowed, obviously not expecting Gu Hai to actually dare to disobey himself at this time. Heh, your name is Gu Hai. I really underestimated you, Ao Sheng said in an ice-cold tone. Prince Ao Sheng, all the dragons, listen to me carefully. Come from wherever you are and go back to wherever you are. This is my Great Han Dynasty. You are not welcome, Gu Hai said coldly. How dare you? The group of dragons burst into an explosion. The group of dragon elders on the flying boat also stared at Gu Hai with wide eyes. I'll be wanton. So what? Leave Great Han for me, Gu Hai said in an ice-cold tone. With that resolute tone, the countless onlooker cultivators in the surroundings were all in a cold sweat. Was this Gu Hai really not afraid of death? Great Han Dynasty. Haha. Do you believe it or not? I can overthrow him with the flip of my hand, one of the elders said with an icy gaze. On the side, Mu Chunfeng whispered, this is Elder Root of the Dragon Clan, the one who Ao Shun said earlier that he supported him. Elder Root. Heh, I believe you can overthrow my Great Han, but, believe it or not, I'll kill Ao Shun right away. Gu Hai pressed the blood blade against the top of Ao Shun's back, his face showing a grimace. How dare you? Elder Root's eyes glared. Ao Shun at this moment was a flurry of scalp numbness, because Ao Shun could feel Gu Hai's fierce killing aura. Does he really dare to kill me? Uncle Root. Ao Shun looked at Elder Root with a hint of pleading for help in his eyes. Ao Shun said that he wants to take revenge. Then I'll die as well. If I let Ao Shun go or not, I will die. So why should I let him go? You think I am as stupid as you? Asshole, Uncle Root's eyes glared. HMPH. If you want to blame your Prince Ao Sheng. He forced me. He forced me to use Ao Shun as a threat. Or rather, he forced me to kill Ao Shun. Gu Hai coldly looked at Prince Ao Sheng. How dare you? Ao Sheng's eyes glared as he said angrily, isn't it? Prince Ao Sheng, today, a tiny Gu Hai, has provoked the dignity of the dragon tribe. You must make me look good for the dignity of the dragon tribe. And I take Ao Shun as a hostage. If you guys dare to make a move, I'll kill Ao Shun. You force me to do so with great righteousness, and I'll kill Ao Shun with my temperament. Isn't it that you're the one who led the group of dragons? Forcing Ao Shun to die, forcing the death of a blood brother. Gu Hai said coldly. Gu Hai rebuked the question, and the group of dragons looked at Ao Sheng. Does Ao Sheng want to act again? To deal with Da Han again would be to force Ao Shun to die. Do they really want to use great justice to force their own brother to die? Ha 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 ha. Gu Hai, do you dare? Ao Sheng coldly looked at Gu Hai. Dare or not, you can try, Gu Hai said coldly. The dragon over there, don't move. Gu Hai steeply blasted the giant dragon far away that wanted to quietly leave. That giant dragon wanted to quietly lurk behind Gu Hai, but it was clearly seen by Gu Hai and blasted the shout. The group of dragons stalled and coldly looked at Gu Hai. "How dare you?" Ao Sheng's eyes glared. "Even if the fish die and the net breaks, it will not be willing to do so. Come on, let's kill each other, or let's kill our brother. Prince Ao Sheng, do you want to try?" Gu Hai said coldly. Ong, roar, rumble. The murderous roars shook the heavens and moved the earth, and countless officials revealed a look of horror as Meng Tai, Chen Chonchen, and the others all clenched their fists with a tense expression. Countless cultivators in the four directions were also shocked. The roaring shouts of killing seemed like they were about to overthrow Great Han and decimate the ancient sea in the blink of an eye. Bear. A soft sound of knives rubbing against flesh rang out. The sound was not loud, but the group of dragons that filled the sky with murderous vigor were scared into a stance by the sound. However, it was Gu Hai who pierced through the body with a blade, inserting it from Ao Shen's back to his chest. The bloody blade broke through the body and out. The blade on Ao Shen's chest was still dripping blood. Ao Shen spat out blood and looked at the half of the blade emerging from his chest, his face in disbelief. Gu Hai really dared. He really dares to kill me. The dragons in the sky were stunned. Gu Hai actually inserted a blade into Ao Shen's body. How did he dare? How could he? The dragons were shocked. Ao Sheng's face also changed as he looked at Gu Hai in shock. Gu Hai looked at the sky full of dragons with a cold smile on his face and said in a loud voice, "Come on, you guys keep coming. Why don't you continue?" Wimped out. The group of dragons, however, suddenly retreated a little, as if they were scared by Gu Hai's angry shout. You dare to kill my king brother?" Ao Sheng said with cold eyes. "Don't pretend to be sympathetic. I didn't stab this knife, but you did, Prince Ao Sheng," Gu Hai said coldly. Ao Sheng clenched his fists and looked at Gu Hai with ice coldness in his eyes. Stop. Steeply a loud shout came from the distance. It was Sima Changkong, who could no longer watch and flew out at once. "Stop." Meng Tai instantly stepped forward and stopped Sima Changkong. "Oh, Mr. Sima." Gu Hai frowned slightly, but he instantly recognized that in the past, in Silver Moon City, the first person to buy Gu Hai's piano, in Silver Moon City, where the offspring of City Lord He's suicide governed Silver Moon City, he was actually in Dahan. "Mr. Gu," Sima Changkong smiled bitterly. Turning his head, Sima Changkong looked at Prince Ao Sheng and said, "My humble self. Sima Changkong, meet Prince Ao Sheng. I will be a peacemaker. How about the two of you stop fighting?" Sima Changkong said with a smile. "Strike the war." "How do you strike the war?" Ao Sheng coldly said. "The ancient sea returns Ao Shen. Prince Ao Sheng guarantees to restrain the Dragon Clan, and shall not pursue the ancient sea as well as the Great Han Dynasty for everything. How about it?" Sima Changkong said with a bitter smile. "Not pursue him." Ao Sheng coldly looked at Gu Hai. Sima Changkong laughed bitterly. Although Gu Hai didn't stab the vitals, but Prince Ao Shen is bleeding. After a long time, something will happen even if something doesn't happen. Ao Shen's face was gloomy, and he was silent for a while. The group of dragons, however, were anxious for a while. Among them, Elder Root and Elder Lin were even more anxious. "Crown Prince, Ao Shen is about to die. You are brothers after all, you," Elder Jen said anxiously. "Hey, Uncle Jen, do you also think that Gu Hai said that I want to force my brother Wong to die?" Ao Sheng's face changed. "No, but now Shen he." Elder Root showed an anxious look. In the anxiety of the crowd of Dragon Clan elders, "Let's listen to Sima Changkong. Let's save Ao Shen first." Ao Sheng took a deep breath. His face was ugly for a while, finally nodded and said, "Good, I will allow you, as a favor to Long Shenwu and your Sima family." "Many thanks, Prince Ao Sheng." Sima Changkong immediately smiled, turning his head. Sima Changkong looked at Gu Hai and said, Mr. Gu, look. Gu Hai looked at Sima Changkong and frowned slightly. Sorry, Ma Sima, I don't know much about Long Shenwu or your Sima clan, and I can't agree with your statement. Thank you for your kind words. The faces of the surrounding group of dragons stiffened. Gu Hai, he doesn't know what's good for him. The Crown Prince has promised not to pursue the matter, and he's still frozen. Asshole. The group of dragons angrily cursed Gu Hai. Sima Changkong, however, looked at Gu Hai with a frown, but was unable to prove the prestige of the Dragon God Marshal and Sima family to Gu Hai. Mr. Sima, I appreciate your good intentions. Besides, even if I know about the prestige of the Dragon God Marshal and Sima family, I still stand by my principles, Gu Hai said in a deep voice. Oh, Sima Changkong was slightly stunned and seemed to have thought of something. It's not that I don't trust you, but I don't trust the Dragon Clan. Why would I trade Aocean for the safety of my great aunt? Gu Hai faintly said. Sima Changkong said with a faint burst of bitter laughter. It's because I'm not thinking well. It's just that your enmity is getting bigger and bigger. No harm done. Gu Hai shook his head. Turning his head, Gu Hai looked towards Prince Aosheng. Prince Aosheng, do you guys want to go forward and try again to see if I can vertically split Aoshan with this slash? Or you guys turn around and try to see if you can put it back together. Maybe it's still a whole body. Ha 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 ha. Gu Hai laughed with a hideous face. The dragons were angry and resentful, but they could only stay there. No one dared to move. Aoshan's face was pale as large swathes of blood flowed out. Crown Prince, Aoshan is about to die, Elder Root anxiously said. Now, take your entire dragon clan and leave the 9-5 islands for me. Leave now. Leave now, Gu Hai said in a cold voice. The faces of the group of dragons turned ugly for a while. Aosheng's face was even more ugly, but Aoshan was dying. If he dragged on, Aoshan would really die. Crown Prince, retreat, Elder Root said bitterly. Crown Prince, retreat. We will avenge this in the coming day. Crown Prince, Aoshan can't die. He can't be forced to die by you. Crown Prince. There was a group of dragons anxiously pleading. The group of dragons looked towards Aosheng, who clenched his fists. You don't have to worry about me taking over the throne anymore. No need. Aoshan was weakly about to close his eyes. Go. Aosheng roared with a strong sense of daring. Go, go. Elder Root and Elder Lin shouted eagerly. The group of dragons had a reluctant look on their faces, especially the group of sinful dragons. Twice now. This was the second time. Was this ancient sea the nemesis of the Dragon Clan? The flying boat was the first one to go towards the distance. The dragons were urged by a group of elders to quickly follow. Ong, ong, ong. The dragons quickly left with a burst of unwillingness and humiliation, leaving behind countless watching cultivators in the four directions with their mouths open, unable to close them for a long time. Are you kidding? This great Han dynasty had played too big a game, right? It was a group of dragons, and the group of dragons had been forced back by Gu Hai for the second time. The crowd was already shocked once earlier. Now for the second time, the crowd could no longer describe this demonic emperor of Dahan, Mergu. Aoshan is dying, Sima Changkong reminded with a bitter smile. Bear. Gu Hai pulled out the blood knife inside Aoshan. Don't worry, it won't die.